Welcome home, where we provide information, inspiration, and motivator after motivator after motivator here on America's Next. I have Jay Wells here with me today. How you doing, Jay?
What's going on, man? I'm blessed. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing absolutely phenomenal, man. I'm very happy to be here on this Monday. I want to say hello to each and every person who's tuned in to our episode today, whether you're on Roku TV, Apple TV, Android TV, Facebook, or YouTube. I want to say I deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate you. And we're in for a great show tonight. Jay, talk to us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
What's going on? So again, my name is Jay Wells. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised.
Okay. What was Cleveland like to you and for you?
Honestly, Cleveland make you tough, man. Cleveland is different, man. Cleveland for me, it was breeding grounds for creativity, one, but also it, like I said, man, it made you tough, man. It built tough skin. It was hard growing up in Cleveland. Nothing comes easy, and even to this day, everything that you get in Cleveland, you really got to go out there and you got to get it. You got to go get it. So
that's right.
You tough.
Let's unpack a little bit of that. And absolutely. We have Linda Goodwin in the building. How you doing, Linda?
What's going on, Linda?
We see that you're from Cleveland. Unpack some of the language that you're using tonight. You said things are tough. You don't get things easily. Cleveland makes you tough. Talk to me about why you say that.
So Cleveland, first of all, Cleveland, just like anywhere else, you have your violence here and there. I mean, you have your gangs here and there. So it can be really easy to, get trapped in the streets growing up in Cleveland, especially on the east side of Cleveland, right? So just one, trying to beat out the streets. I think that in and of itself is a huge issue that we face, right? But if you somehow manage to conquer, beating out the streets and everything like that, whether it be through sports or education or in my case, music, whatever it is for you, right? When you make it out of the streets and you beat the streets, now you're dealing with gatekeepers, right? There are, gatekeepers, movers and shakers in the city that, they kind of hold the platform to either make or break you. And it's one of those things where you're either going to go and you're going to partner with them and they're going to help skyrocket and boost your career. Or if that doesn't happen, then you have to really get it out the mud. For me, I didn't get a chance to partner with a lot of those gatekeepers and everything as they were, coming up in the game. We were coming up around the same time, but I didn't get a chance to, partner with them because of the fact that I was away at college. So I had to find my own path. I had to, make it happen my own way. You know what I'm saying? And Cleveland is rough, man. Cleveland, they're gonna let you know what's real. If you got talent and you dope, they're gonna support you. But if you don't, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna let you know that this ain't it. They're gonna let you know this is trash. So Cleveland is definitely, like I said, it's great breeding grounds. You'll definitely learn a lot here. You'll grow a lot here. It's gonna make you tough in the process, man, because you're gonna have a lot of doors shut in your face. But if you take that and you allow it to motivate you the right way, you're gonna be solid.
Where specifically did you grow up in Cleveland, and what was your childhood like? Let's say 5 or 6 years old. What was going on in your life? What was going on in your community in Cleveland?
Okay, got you. So, I grew up all around the east side of Cleveland. So I lived everywhere from Way Park, Superior, St. Clair, Huff, Cedar, Kinsman. I pretty much grew up all around the east side. I stayed moving around. The only thing that was really consistent about, my stay in Cleveland is my high school. I went to the Cleveland School of the Arts, and then my elementary school was Daniel E. Morgan. So I've only been to, 2 grade schools in my life. So those are the only things that was really consistent. Other than that, man, I moved around consistently. I stayed moving around. We stayed on the go, and it was typically because of some kind of gang violence or something like that. So my life was low key kind of rough. Like, what I'm saying? Like when I was about 5 or 6, we were living over on Wade Park, and we were surrounded by gangs over on the Wade Park area. I remember people getting jumped, and man, I got jumped over there one time.
were you jumped for no reason, just because there were gangs in the community, or
yeah, just because I wanted to be outside. I got jumped, trying to ride my bike. You know what I'm saying? I got jumped coming from it's a recreational center called Thurgood Marshall. And we used to go up there and we used to swim and everything. So we went up there, we went swimming, and I'll never forget, man. We went up there, we went swimming. I was probably around 7 or 8. We went swimming. And when we were done swimming, we had a long street to walk up to get back to my complex where we stayed at. Long street. And my pants had fell down. My shorts had fell down because I didn't have a change of clothes. So I was just wearing the same shorts that I got out the pool with. I'm young. I'm in the summer trying to have fun, right? Mm-hmm. So the guy we was with at the time, he was like, "Hey, let's do a race." You know what I'm saying? First person to the house, or last person to the house, you lose, or whatever the case may be, right? We kids. So we're getting ready to do the race. And as I take off running, my shorts filled with water just drop down to my ankles. I'm like, oh, snap. So I go pick my shorts up. And as soon as I look up, I'm getting circled by dudes I've never seen in my life. I'm talking about 2 or 3 people on a bike. And it's like 2 or 3 people standing up. I don't even know how they got to me so fast, but they started circling around me. And I'm looking around the circle and I'm just like, what's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's up? Like, who are y'all? And I'll never forget, a dude came up, hit me in the back of the head. And then after that, everybody jumped me. You know what I'm saying? They ended up jumping me. Somehow I ended up being able to like hold on to my shorts and just run up out of there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Being able to get up off the ground and run out of there. So, I mean, yeah, you got jumped.
Hold on.
There's been an area.
Hold on. And for those people who might not know, getting jumped means getting physically assaulted by multiple people at one time. So one person versus 2 or 3 or 4, however many people is beating this person up. That's what getting jumped is. And it sounds like you guys were coming from a swimming pool and you were running, you were racing, and you ended up on the wrong end of a street and you were in somebody else's territory. Is that what you're saying?
I honestly, at that age, I didn't know if I was in somebody else's territory or I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out if you're running down the street, where did all these guys come from? Like, where did you stop running in front of somebody's house and they jumped?
No. So the craziest thing is, Thurgood Marshall was like here. The guys were across the street from Thurgood Marshall. Like,
so they were running with you.
Not necessarily running with me, but they were across the street to where they could see everything that was going on with myself, my brothers, and our old friend at the time. Okay. They could literally watch it from their front porch.
Gotcha.
And so they apparently jumped off the porch and they started making their way over to Thurgood Marshall anyways, because you had a group of people that lived in that area where they would just go to Thurgood all the time and just beat people up. Like, that's just what they did. Like that. Wow. That's just how they roll. They would just go to Thurgood, just beat people up and, go about their day. And I just happened to be the unlucky person that was in the area at the time. And I just remember when I got back home, I told everybody, told my parents and told everybody what happened. And it was about 30 or 40 people from the complexes that we lived in that all just ganged up. And we all went back over there. We went back over there. We found them on their porch. And their parents had came out and stopped us from actually like fighting these dudes. Because we went back over there with like 30 or 40 people. So I don't really know if it was like walking into the wrong territory kind of thing, or if it was that's just the people who do that kind of activity. They go up people to beat up on for real.
That's right. I find it interesting how young people could be ripping and running through the community, hurting each other, harming each other, breaking the law, doing the wrong thing, and sometimes their parents know nothing about it. And when you bring this to the attention of the parents, it's like, well, why are you out here doing that, son? Come in the house and have a conversation, and you find out that this young man who's fighting people or jumping people or doing the wrong thing has a parent that either doesn't know that they're doing that or doesn't approve of it. And so when I hear stories like yours, I'm reminded of the potential gap between children and parents that maybe we need to revisit as a community. Because like you talked about, we've got a lot of senseless violence in our communities, and it's not all about condemning other people or condemning where you've come from. It's about sharing the reality that back in your day, you could just get jumped for walking down the street. And I wonder how much of this stuff still goes on today, or if it's even worse in some of these areas, because this idea of senseless violence has never been checked. We're hurting each other, we're shooting each other, stabbing each other, robbing each other, and I'm not sure anybody spends enough time talking about why. Why do you think? Why do you think, Jay, that these types of these incidents were happening in your community and still happen today? Why do you think it's happening?
There are a couple of reasons why I personally think it's happening. I think that one, proximity is huge. Proximity is huge. I think that when you're just surrounded by people in that close, tight-knit area, you know, the crime is always going to be prevalent in those areas. Why? Because it's just overpopulated. It's too many people. Then two, you have proximity plus trauma. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these children grow up being surrounded by either violence in their household, a household that lacks love and open communication, or they're hanging out with friends where they see their friends dealing with those things, and they begin to internalize those things and think that it's normal. So they normalize those kind of behaviors. So you got proximity, you have trauma, and then you also have music, because I think that music and the culture that's being pushed in music nowadays, what it's doing is it's reaffirming the trauma that people seen growing up. You know what I'm saying? When you got songs that's constantly talking about getting a gun and hitting this lick and shooting this person and shooting that person, this, that, third, right? If that's what you grew up and you heard the talk about that and you seen things like that in your neighborhood, in your hood, right? Even if you try to run from it, you see it so much that it becomes your norm. This is now your norm. And then when you hear people consistently on the radio, off the radio, talking about it in music, and now it's the #1 genre in the world, right? And this is what we're pushing as a culture, as a people, right? If we're pushing this, now we're affirming, hey, the gun violence, this how I gotta survive. So what we're doing is we're pushing a survivalist mentality on our youth, when it's like, bro, they don't have to live like that. Like, there are young people getting killed on a regular basis. Like, there was a young woman who, man, she couldn't be no more than 21, 22 years old, man. She was at a club in Cleveland called The Spot or something like that, After Spot or The Spot or something. And it's on the west side of Cleveland. And somebody, you know, in the middle of the party, man, went up there and started shooting in the middle of the party, and a bunch of people captured it on film. And unfortunately, man, that lady ended up losing her life. The young woman lost her life. You know what I'm saying? And it's a bunch of other people that got injured in that shooting, but she unfortunately lost her life. And it's little things like that where we got to take a step back and we got to ask, like, what are we doing to try to remedy this? Because we can sit here and talk about it all day, but until we are the culture, we have the potential to change what we're hearing on the radio. Until we get to a place where, hey, man, we not about to keep standing for y'all dropping drugs all up in the community. We not about to keep standing for y'all, you know what I'm saying, bringing guns into the community. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing how to use them, not being licensed and trained on them. You know what I'm saying? We not about to keep standing for y'all making this music, disrespecting women and talking about hitting licks and all this other stuff, because y'all glorifying the very things that we trying to get away from, the very things that's holding us back. So that's why I feel like a lot of the violence is coming from, man. It's proximity, it's trauma, and it's culture. It's media.
That's powerful, Jay. We are right here inside of this hour on America's Next Motivator, putting a mirror up to our communities, and we're saying today, we're not waiting for tomorrow, the next day, and next month. Right now, today, we're holding a mirror up to our communities, and we're asking our communities to change their stance on a few things. Change your stance on the value of human life, for instance. Change your stance on violence, on family dysfunction, on community relations. All these things we need to address. I think that you're making a powerful stance tonight. I think that tonight you're not waiting.
Oh no,
you're not waiting tonight. You're addressing it tonight. There are many other things that you could be talking about tonight, but you chose to talk about the realities, even the nuances of the community and that which you're from, because obviously you love your community. You want your community to be an even better place. And so everybody out there, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. If Jay Wells is making sense to you tonight, drop a 1 in the chat. If you can understand that what he's talking about looks like what's happening outside of your window tonight and in the morning. This is a very important conversation to be had. And there's also a silver lining in this conversation. For one, I would like to make a separation, if we can, between masculinity,
absolutely,
adulthood, and bad behavior. And the reason why I want to draw that line is this. There could be young people out there who think that them breaking the law, robbing, stealing, killing is being a man.
Yeah.
And so when we say it's not okay for Jay or anybody else to get jumped and beat up in a public area because they're walking down the street from the pool, we're not trying to invalidate anybody else's manhood or invalidate anybody else's womanhood. Mm-hmm. We understand that there are reasons why all of these things are happening, right? But in order for us to address these things, we got to talk about them. And when we talk about effective adulthood, we can't skip over the people who are running around beating people up for no reason, robbing people for no reason, killing people, and all these types of things. They have to be talked about and addressed, right? Mm-hmm. And so let's talk about the difference between taking things with brute force and belligerence and actual adulthood. What's the difference?
For me, I believe what makes a man, what makes a woman is defined by what you're doing for your family and what you're doing for your community. That's what's really going to make a man and a woman, because we can sit here all day and we can say, oh, a man is supposed to do this or a woman is supposed to do that. But a lot of that is coming from a buildup of toxicity over years. Like, you know what I'm saying? We just taking the toxic traits from our past generations and we handing them down to the next. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, do you really understand what a real man is? Do you understand what a real woman is? Do you understand what that looks like? You know,
hold up. And look out for the back and forth tonight, because you're saying a lot of things that are resonating with me. You're turning my gears. You're turning my gears, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great night. This is a great night to drop comments in the chat. We'll be putting your comments on the screen, and let's dig into it. We have to remove the bad energy in our communities as best we can, and we know you can't remove all of it. We're not being idealistic tonight in a sense that we think, oh, the community should be perfect, right? But there does need to be a conversation about, first, what does real mean? When you say real, what does real mean? Let's start there.
Authentic, right? Authentic and genuine. A true inspiration, someone that the youth can look up to. That's the definition of real. Everybody wants to toss this term, I'm real. How? What makes you real? You might have experienced real life, but that don't mean you handled it in a real way. You know what I'm saying? Being real is about being authentic. It's about being genuine. It's about being someone that, again, the youth can look up to, because at the end of the day, it's not just about us. You know what I'm saying? Life is not just about us. We got a youth that is looking up to us. We have little babies, little toddlers, teenagers that's looking up to us. My nephew, you know what I'm saying? My nephew is hitting 18 this year. He'll be going off to college. I helped raise my nephew. You know what I'm saying? And to this day, he still looks up to me. To this day, he'll still call me, hey, Unc, I got questions on my college applications. I don't, what does this mean? This, that, and the third. Why? Because throughout my entire life, I knew I can't do bonehead stuff out here because my nephew is looking up to me. If he sees me getting into the streets and slanging drugs and, talking about killing this and killing that, if he sees me doing that, then guess what? He gonna grow up and he gonna say, I saw my uncle doing it. It must be okay if I saw my uncle doing it. Not only did I see my uncle doing it, but I didn't see my granny and my grandpa saying anything to my uncle about it. Because that goes back to the point of what you said. Most time parents don't even know what's going on with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time they don't know. You know how many teenagers was, oh yeah, I'm going to school. They get dropped off at school, and then as soon as their parents leave, they bust a left and they slide out and they skip the whole day to go hang in the streets. Right. You know what I'm saying? Why is that a thing? Because the media is helping to intensify and publicize the negative things that's going on in the world, the negative things that's going on in our culture. But they don't just intensify it and make it look bad. No, they intensify it and they make it sound like they make it desirable. They make it sound good, like it's right. Quote unquote lit.
That's right. When I was younger, separation was a very important skill. The ability to separate what you see on TV from real life, the ability to separate what you hear on the radio from real life, the ability to separate what everybody else is doing from what you're going to do. That was one of my core lessons in life. And it seems like we lost the conversation and the skill of separation. Because now, to Jay's point, we don't separate what we watch on TV from what we do in real life as much. We don't separate what we listen to on the radio from what we do in real life as much. And I want to back this up a little bit to let the whole wide world know what we are talking about and how we're talking about it. A lot of the themes that we hear and that we see, they're not new. We've seen the themes of destruction, of murder, of pillage, of undeserved sacrifice for thousands of years. We didn't start any of this. We are in a perpetual opportunity to choose, to separate. We have a perpetual opportunity to separate from bad influences. Bad influences have always been around, but our ability to separate from those bad influences is what's changing over time. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you said something that's real good, man. It's super good for you want people to to know about me. You want people to know who I am. And today we're gonna talk, and I'm gonna get so real with y'all and so open with y'all, man. I'm gonna tell y'all a bit more of my story and really what I went through in my childhood and how I even got to the point where I'm at now. One thing that y'all gonna know about me is I love God. I absolutely love God. And what you said about separation, it brought up this like parable in my mind, right? Is that we are all gardeners in one way or another. And so what's happening is whenever you plant something, right? When you plant fruit or when you plant any kind of vegetation, when it grows and you harvest it, you also get seeds from it. That's right. And so what's happening is there are farmers many generations ago that planted these seeds of destruction, violence, and just everything wicked that you can think of that's going on. We have the opportunities, because what we have to understand is that life is a garden. There's always going to be weeds growing in the garden, but you can always control and contain the weeds. Right. We have a great opportunity right now because we've watched generation after generation after generation plant these seeds, watch them grow and ruin some aspect of the world or some aspect of life. Then the next generation, they come up, they take those same seeds and they replant them. At what point are we going to understand that we have the ability to plant new seeds? And that's why I'm so big about community. You know what I'm saying? I'm so big about helping my brother, helping my sister, helping the next person out, because every time I can only speak on me, because I know everybody else, they have a mind of their own. I can't force anybody to do anything, but I'm going to be an example. Every time I get out in the community, and I go and I help somebody that's homeless, whether it's with money, whether it's with time. Sometimes homeless people just need somebody to listen to them, just to hear their story. And anytime I go and I help a homeless person like that, that's planting a seed, because there are a lot of homeless people that think that life is hopeless for them because so many people pass them by on the street. So many people forget about the fact that they're human just because they're homeless. Homelessness doesn't make you inhuman.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you any less of a human. So the more that we pay attention to those things, the more that we give, the more that we devote our time doing things, every time that we take a step outside of ourselves to do for the next person, we are planting a new seed in this garden of life.
That's right.
And what's happening is we don't see a lot of that happening. We see a lot of people, excuse me, we see a lot of people that's like, nah, I'm going to do for me. I'm going to go get it out the mud. Man, I'm going to go slang these drugs or whatever. Every time you do that, bro, it might seem little, but every time you do that, you planting the same seeds that's been planted for generations on generations on generations. When you go out here and you get these guns and you want to ride around and be all on the Instagram and Twitter and all this other stuff, doing all this, showing your guns off and stuff like that, like, bro, you 30, 35. Why are you still doing this?
So
Slave mentality.
I have a couple thoughts on this. We have a lot of dysfunction in our communities clear across America. And if you are a patron of this show, you know that I like to talk about all communities, white communities, black communities, and all the communities in between. We have these themes that have been in our communities for a long time. And I'm not here tonight to make anybody feel condemned or convicted. I want to let you know that you are a part of our generation, and we are on this earth together with an opportunity to choose to separate from that which is not giving us life.
Exactly.
And so I know that the young man out there who is brandishing a gun tonight, he thinks that he's protecting his life or that he's protecting his family's life. So many of the young people out here who are selling drugs or doing drugs, they think that they are somehow doing what they have to do. That's one of the most dangerous phrases I've ever heard. I'm doing what I have to do. And what we're raising awareness about tonight, this is what makes this a victorious moment for our listeners, for our communities, and for everyone, is that we have a choice to change direction. We have a choice to realize that some of the things that we think are protecting us, preserving us, and enlightening us, they're not.
Yeah, facts.
And so that's what we're raising awareness about tonight. I don't want you to feel less of a person if you're watching this episode and you're somewhere making what could be seen as the wrong decision. I too was jumped when I was younger. So many of our listeners, our people have been robbed. They've been stolen from. They've had their intellectual ideas stolen from them.
Yeah.
There's cyber crime now. There are people who, you know, we're experiencing all different types of wrongdoings. And so it's upon everybody to learn the value of choice. You can choose to do something different. Who would you be if you decided to turn your life around? I'll give you an example. There's a guy out there, everybody knows his name, 50 Cent. 50 Cent lived, and we're talking about music. 50 Cent lived a life just like what we're talking about. Robbing, selling drugs, probably hurting people. There's probably somebody out there who can say 50 Cent ran up on him and hurt them. But 50 Cent made a choice to make his life more fruitful to himself and to his family. He realized that those things were not giving life. We have to make the choice to give life.
Yeah.
Each and every person on planet Earth has that choice to give life. Jay, what do you say to a young man or a young woman out there who's caught up? They might not know any better, but they need a word from you tonight. What do you say to them?
The word that I would give them is, man, listen, bro. I got a past. You got a past too. But what makes us the same is that God loves us both. And there is another way. Why can I say that? I can say that because I too had a choice. I had a choice a couple times in my life. I told y'all I would tell y'all a bit of my story, so I guess I'll tell y'all something now.
Let's go.
Between the ages of 6 to 8, I was molested by a male. The same male who was walking with my brothers and I when we were coming from Thurgood Marshall from swimming on the day I got jumped is the same male who molested me from the ages of 6 to 8. And I never told my parents. I didn't tell anybody about it. Didn't tell anybody because I didn't know whether it was right or wrong. I didn't know what to say about it. This dude introduced me to one of the hardest struggles of my life, which was lust, period. You know what I'm saying? Pornography and masturbation. Like, he introduced me to some really bad stuff. And at the time, not only was I being molested by a guy that was older than me, that I kind of looked up to him. I thought he was a cool dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to be friends with him. He was super cool. I was also being bullied throughout all of elementary school. I was the young, fat dude. My head leaned to the side. You know what I'm saying? So I had flaws that was, apparent to everybody. That was obvious to everybody. And I got picked on. I got called fat, ugly, gay, you name it. I got caught it. And the opportunity came up to do music. And I took that opportunity, honestly, just to get away from being bullied. But I never knew that music will become such a big part of my life, a big part of my passion, and an even bigger part of my purpose, become what my purpose is. And so I went through that time of my life. And like I said, man, I held on to it. And I didn't let anybody know. It wasn't until I was 18 years old when I told my mom and I told my dad exactly what had happened. And even after that, I still held on to a lot of it because I was too ashamed to say anything. I was too ashamed to tell anybody my story. I was too ashamed to really talk about it. For anybody that's out there that's listening, anybody that's been through a trauma, anybody that's been hurt through anything, therapy is real. I'm a huge advocate for mental health. Therapy is real because I had to go out and seek help. I had to go out and get therapy. But see, I had a choice. I could either stay mad at the world because, man, how could God let this happen to me? Man, if God was real, then why would he allow that to even happen? And this, that, the third. I could have questioned. I could have hated the world. I could have jumped in the streets. Because once I got older, I had the opportunity to do that. Right. I moved from one hood to the next hood. And they was asking me, hey, what's up, man? We need you to be down and, lead the young dudes in the street. We need you to be leader over the young gang. They gave us a name and everything. It wasn't for me, man. I took all of the pain, all of the hurt that I went through, and I said, you know what? I done seen it all already. I done seen people sell drugs, get robbed and get killed. I done seen people get ran up on and get shot. Somebody got shot in front of my house 2 days before Christmas.
Wow.
I seen what the streets can do to you. I lost my cousin to gun violence in 2017. Mm-hmm. His murder is considered a cold case. Mm-hmm. His murder is considered a cold case.
You know what, Jay? I commend you tonight for sharing your story in a way that people can see the images that you're providing. Your transparency is phenomenal this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Jay Wells. He's a very talented man. We're going to talk more about that after the break. For now, everybody sit tight because we've got more coming with Jay Wells. America's Next Motivator, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. America's Next Motivator, hosted by me, Cedric Riley, and sponsored by the Pride Empowerment Network and our viewership. And we're back. Jay, how you feeling out there?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm blessed.
There you go. Hey, listen, you are a hero tonight, man. You are speaking for someone who's never told their story tonight. You are speaking for people who have gone through things the world still doesn't know. There is a grown man out there. There's a grown woman out there who's gone through some of the things that you're talking about tonight, and they are appreciating you for it. I'm appreciating you for it.
I'm glad.
Now, I want to know, I'm thinking about all the things you're sharing with us tonight, and I'm wondering why did no one step in and make a change in your life? I spent years of my life in foster care because people realized that my home was dysfunctional. Yeah. I'm wondering why no one saw the signs in your life that you were being abused, that there was senseless violence going on all around you. I'm wondering why nobody ever stepped in. I'm not hearing you talking about how this father and this uncle stepped in. And I'm wondering where was the leadership all along? Talk about it.
Honestly, when you look at my household, right, I am very good at hiding what I'm going through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because of my natural persona, my energy, period. You know what I'm saying? The spirit that's resting on me, right? I can go through a lot and it'll be hard for you to tell I'm going through anything. And so that's always been a trait of mine. You know what I'm saying? So growing up, I never, ever came to my parents and let them know, I was being molested. Like I said, I never came to anybody in my family and let them know what was actually going on. At the time, I didn't even know what it was called, being molested. I didn't know what it was, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm so young. So I just knew that it didn't feel right.
Let me ask you something.
Mm-hmm.
If a young person, a young adult,
yep,
or an adult is going through that type of abuse, what would you advise them to do today? What would you advise them to do?
Tell somebody. The best thing that you can do is tell someone, because I personally didn't speak about what was making me uncomfortable or what I didn't like, because of the fact that, the dude was cool. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to, make him salty and not be his friend, one. And then two, he was older than me. So, he was more connected in the streets than I was. So I didn't want nothing to happen to me physically. So of course, being nervous for what could happen to me on a physical level. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta stop being afraid of the what ifs, and we gotta take action. You know what I'm saying? We gotta tell somebody if you're going through that at this current time. If you're going through domestic violence, if you're going through molestation, or if you've been through a rape or whatever the case may be, tell somebody. You know what I'm saying? Go out and tell somebody. Tell somebody that you trust. Tell somebody that's close to you, not someone that's gonna gaslight you or invalidate your feelings. Rather, tell somebody. We are not holding back. We got to tell somebody, man.
That's right. You talked about music early on in this conversation, and you mentioned the influence of music on people. When did you realize that you were musically inclined?
It all happened around that same time, between the ages of 6 and 8, man. I was actually in third grade at the time. I don't know exactly how old was I in third grade. I don't know. It was 2003. So I have to do the math. I'm doing,
Mhm.
but like it was 2003, and I was in third grade, and yeah, like I said, they offered me the opportunity because I was, man, my scholars, wow, man, scholarship was so crazy. Like I was really big on academics. Like I had straight A's. like,
Wow, wow.
like you know what I'm saying? So I got picked on a lot. Like I was the fat, chunky, ugly nerd with a bald head and glasses. You know
Did
what I'm
you
saying?
feel did you feel that school and the arts was your way of escaping all the turmoil and the trauma?
Yeah, it kept me busy. Like you know what I'm saying? It definitely kept me busy, and it for me, it made me feel like I had value in the world. Um, because aside from that, it was like, man, why am I here? What else do I have value for? Nobody around me likes me. Do you know how crazy that is to be a kid and you thinking about something like that? Like that's like that. It's just, that doesn't even. It really doesn't make sense. Like you know what I'm saying, to be in that kind of situation. But I was there. You know what I'm saying, and so for me, music. When my teacher came up to me and they only chose 2 students because of the fact that they was like, yo, we're choosing the top 2 students with academics and we're going to give them some extracurriculars. That's what they consider music to be.
Right.
And so they came to me and another other kid and they asked, they was like, hey, y'all want to do music? I said, absolutely.
Right.
what time? You know, and they told me what period, and I said, man, absolutely. Why? Because it was you know, more time spent away from being bullied. And so what I would do is I would spend as much time as I possibly could really honing in on music and honing in on my craft. And when I went down there, my teacher, Miss Rutherford, and I have no idea where she is. I pray that she is well. If she's still with us today, I pray she's well. She saw something in me that nobody, not even my family, knew was there. She gave me a clarinet in third grade. By the end of third grade, I was playing the clarinet at a high school level. So she upgraded me to the alto saxophone during that summer. And she gave me the school's alto. And she gave me some homework assignments. She said, hey, learn this song and come back in a couple weeks. I want to see you, because over the summer, she would be at the school getting her lesson plan together. And so instead of being in the streets and doing all this, you know, nonsense in the summer, I was still having fun because I was a kid, but I would have appointments with my music teacher where she would come to us. She would come to our church. She invited us to her church. I would go to the school to meet her at the school. And every homework assignment that she gave me, I remember just sitting upstairs in my bedroom, and I would sit there and I would practice for hours on end. I would practice. And by the end of the summer, going into my 4th grade year, I was playing the saxophone as well on a high school level. So when I was in 4th grade, she had me playing the alto saxophone, but then she had a soprano. So what she would do is she would give me her soprano and let me take it home, her personal soprano saxophone, and let me take it home so I can learn to play that. And I fell in love with the soprano. Then couple months of playing the soprano, I was now playing 3 instruments at a high school level in the 4th grade.
Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get some hearts and likes in the building for Jay Wells. He's exhibiting the qualities of a champion. He's exhibiting the qualities of an American hero. This is why he's on our show tonight. Man, it's been said that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, only transferred. He transferred that energy that was taking place in his life, the energy of the predator, the energy of the abuser, and he transmuted that energy into the clarinet and the saxophone, and the saxophone, to the point where he was on a high school level as a 3rd grader. Are you all feeling that gravity with me tonight? Are you all feeling that grit with me tonight? Are you hearing God's call on his life tonight? Drop some emojis in the chat for Jay. Drop some emojis in the chat for Jay. Drop the fire emoji. Drop, the hands up emoji. Put it in there for him tonight. Let him know.
Thank you, y'all. I'm truly grateful, man. I really am. It was really all the work of God, man. I used to grow up and I used to ask all the time, like, God, why did you allow for me to go through so much as a kid, right? But it wasn't until I was older that I finally understood. And I look back and I say, man, you were playing 3 instruments in the 4th grade. You were playing 3 instruments that you just picked up a year ago at a high school level. And it got to the point where every single solo in the school, they gave it to me.
Right.
I was playing the national anthem over the intercom at the time, pretty much every single day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Wow. So then kids started to try to bully me because I was the nerd with straight A's. I was chunky with glasses.
And you know what? Hold on. let's address this too. We are going into an age of achievement. We're going into an age of transformation. People are transforming. I was sitting with my younger sister a few days ago, and she was showing me the types of things that she's doing on her computer. Our minds are changing.
Yeah,
we are morphing into greater people, and we've got to normalize. We've got to normalize people being smart, people being high achievers, people being overcomers. Let's make all these things normal. You overcame adversity. Let's make that normal. You're a high achiever. Let's make that normal.
Yeah,
we've got to stop attacking one another for being smart, or for being talented, or for being fat, or being flawed. We got to stop attacking each other in general.
Yeah.
You know? Let's raise awareness. Let's raise awareness about that tonight on America's Next Motivator. We've got to stop attacking each other. Got to stop attacking each other. I do still think that you are a champion for taking that energy and not choosing to hurt somebody else. And we're not saying that you're perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm hearing how you took that energy and you used it as best you could, whether it be through music or an instrument that you use to create music. And that's our focus right now. Do you do other things musically? Can you sing?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, so, like I said, man, music, it was always a part of my life. It was at that time, like I was just using it because it was keeping me away from being bullied. And I never knew that it was a true calling over my life. I was marching with high school bands down at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm in 4th grade. I'm the shortest person in the line, but I'm walking with a saxophone marching with high school bands. And it was an experience I'll never forget. I ended up auditioning for the Cleveland School of the Arts, got into the Cleveland School of the Arts, flying colors. And I stayed there from 6th grade all the way until I graduated. And Cleveland School of the Arts is where a lot of my musical gifts really came to life, because I could play before, but I never really knew like the history of music. I never knew how to connect deeper with music outside of it being an escape from my reality. When I got to CSA, I was surrounded. It's the Cleveland School of the Arts. So I'm surrounded by artistic people, visual art, graphic art, instrumental music, whether it's orchestral or whether it's actual like a wood instrument or a symphonic instrument. You have vocal, you have dance, you have drama. So I'm surrounded, poetry, so creative writing. So I'm surrounded by all of these creatives. And every single day I get to watch people that are at different levels on their journey, because unlocking your full potential and realizing what you can do with your talents and gifts is a journey. And I got to watch other people that were my age at different places in their journey go through the same thing that I was going through, go through school with me, go through life with me, hear their stories. That to me, it inspired me. So
do you feel, hold on, and we're reaching third base of the show here. So there's a few things that we're going to cover intentionally before we close this hour. The arts had a big impact on your journey to success. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, the arts was man, everything for me, man. Like I said, like I believe that my purpose is centered around what I do. And what I do is music. You know what I'm saying? And I devote a lot of time, a lot of energy, not just doing my own music, but doing music for other people. I'm a recording engineer. So I mix other people's songs. I record and mix other people's songs. I'm a songwriter. So I write for other people. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's not a song that I'm personally singing or rapping myself, I write for other people.
Right.
I like to say I slightly do A&R stuff because of the fact that a lot of people ask me, hey, can you listen to this? Can you listen to that for me and tell me what you think? So pretty much anything going on with music, man, I'm all around it.
Are you able to sing for us tonight? You got something for us tonight?
Absolutely, man. I can sing for you all tonight, man. Absolutely.
Let's go. Get those fire emojis into the building. As you know, when people stop by here on America's Next Motivator, they bring their talent, they bring their arts, and this is what we do for our public. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, so the song I'm gonna sing is I'm gonna sing "Let Me Love You" by Mario. A lot of people call him Mario, but it's Mario. But nevertheless, I'm gonna sing that if that's all right with y'all.
Let's go.
All right. Baby, I just don't get it. Do you enjoy being hurt? I know you smell the perfume, the makeup on his shirt. You don't believe his stories. You know that there are lies. As bad as you are, you stick around. And I just don't know why. If I was your man, baby, you'd never worry about what I do. I'll be coming home back to you every night, doing you right. You're the type of woman deserve good things. Fist full of diamonds, a handful of rings. Baby, you're a star, and I just want to show you you are. You should let me love you. Let me be the one to give you everything you want and need. Oh, baby, good love and protection. Make me your selection. Show you the way love's supposed to be. Oh, baby, you should let me love you.
Yeah. Nice. Fire. We got fire emojis in the chat for you. You can obviously sing. You strike me as one of those folks who would do one of those challenges on Instagram. Have you participated in any challenges on Instagram?
Yeah, so I only did one challenge ever in my life, and like posted it. And it was the Usher Superstar Challenge. Thank you so much. It was the Usher Superstar Challenge by They Have the Range.
Okay.
And it was amazing because I honestly was like, I'm not gonna do a challenge. Excuse me, turn something on. But I'm like, I'm not gonna do the challenge because I don't know, like I don't really do challenges, and all this doubt started to come in out of nowhere. But then I felt God say to me, like, I didn't give you that spirit. Why are you doubting the gift that I gave you? You know what I'm saying? I gave you the gift to be able to use it. I want you to use this gift. So I recorded the video, and I recorded like 4 takes of it, but there were 2 that I really liked. And I was like, man, God, I have 2 that I like, but I don't know which one is like the best one. Which one is everyone else gonna like? And he was like, you're worried about the wrong things. Just
right.
Both of them.
That's right. So, do it tonight. Hold on. Do it again right here tonight on our show. Let's go, everybody. Superstar Challenge.
All right, I gotta see if I can. I've been talking all day. On the spot. All right. Make sure I got to know. Is that the right key? Let me turn my keyboard on. Because you're way
busy, y'all.
All right.
Put the emojis in the chat for them.
All right. I got it. All right. So the thing is, yeah, but it's an octave higher. So it goes, yeah.
Fire, ladies and gentlemen. Where can we find your social media? What's your name on social media? If people want to go out there, support your music, and discover your catalog, how can people find you?
Absolutely. So everything for me, whether you want to Google me, well, if you Google me, just type in J Wells Music because then it'll pop up. But if you searching me on any kind of social media, is the Legacy of Jay, THE, Legacy of Jay. Jay is JAY, as you can see on the stream. And any other platform, whether it's like Apple Music, Spotify, I don't care if you do YouTube or SoundCloud. It's gonna be Jay Wells, again, JAYWELLS. That's where you can find me at on everything. I do have music everywhere. Like I have an EP that's out, an album that's out, a bunch of singles that's out, I have music videos that's out. On my social media, I'm doing challenges now. I'm doing covers and stuff. So I'm singing much more on my social media. Again, I'm a recording engineer. I work.
Hold on.
So
we're not done yet. We got 20 seconds left in the show, and we got 3 questions that you need to answer, all done in 20 seconds.
Okay, let's do it.
First question: what is survival to you?
Survival is staying alive in the best way possible.
What is success to you?
Success to me is measured by how you get hit by life and how you counter those hits. So how do you grow through those hits?
What is greatness to you?
Greatness is a result of your success. So greatness is a result of how hard you take those, or how you take those hard hits from life and how you bounce back from those hits and grow from them. That is what's going to signify greatness, which is ultimately going to lead to your legacy.
Jay Wells, I want to let you know that I've listened to your story today. I appreciate the way that you overcame adversity. You took that and you used that emotion, that energy, that championship in your music today, and that's phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, get your crown emojis ready. We are giving you your respect today while you're still living, and we're giving you a crown today while you can still receive it. Ladies and gentlemen, put your crown emojis into the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, put your crown emojis into the chat. We are letting you know, letting the world know that you, Jay Wells, you are America's next motivator.
I appreciate y'all, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for stopping by today, all right?
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Each and every episode of America's Next Motivator is going to have something here for you. All you've got to do is stop by and pick it up.